yeah, so in terms of fuel, I have been using a mix. Sometimes I feel like I use Power 99. Sometimes, most of the times I've been running it on XP95, which is about 98, 99 rupees a liter. And I've been getting crazy ranges from this car, like 600 kilometers easily on this car's range. And I'll show you, since I haven't reset the long-term trip on this car. So till now the car after delivery has done 1294 kilometers with an average of 11.6 kilometers per liter. That is after all my friends have gone pedal to the metal, getting 4.5, 5 kilometers per liter from this car, and my city driving and my tuning. So that is very, very impressive for this engine, and I understand. So in terms of engine, transmission, reliability, mods, I don't want to mod this car. I want to keep it stock. I think it's good enough stock. Well, fuck no, I'm going to mod this obviously. Who wouldn't want to mod a car? So yeah, I'm not very sure how strong the engine is. I'm still studying. Unfortunately, this engine has been there in the Hyundai cars for a few years. I think it was initially introduced in the last generation i20 and Kia Picanto and all those cars. And this is the second iteration of the same engine, this 1.0 TGDI. So in terms of reading about the engine, compression ratio and all, I'm trying to find the right service manual. I found the service manual, workshop manual for this engine, which is from the older generation of this engine, and there are slight changes from that generation to this generation. So once I get my hand on the engine, I'll understand, do some more research on the parts, on how much boost it's running from the factory, what other tuners are doing for it. This engine and gearbox and this chassis is very new. So this, in Hyundai's terms, this is the i20 BC3 or BI3 chassis, and the information on this chassis is very limited beyond what is available, what's there with the Hyundai official workshop manuals, and they are literally impossible to get a hand on. So let me do my research, let me figure out what I can do with the engine. Remap wise, yes, remaps are available. GT tuners, Akshay, even Code 6 all have engine maps for this car. So when I do go tuning, the options are there, the potential is there. And the only catch here is that the gearbox maps aren't available, and I would love to find a gearbox tuner for this DCT who gets rid of that first to second gear lag. I think that lag is costing a lot of time in terms of 0 to 100. Not that it matters with this car, but if that lag can be reduced and made to feel more like what the second to third gear shift feels like, then it will be a far better idea. It'll make the car drive a little bit better. Yeah. So braking on this car is really adequate. I haven't found a reason not to ever be in a situation where I need more braking power. The brakes on this car are really good. The pedal feel is slightly different than what a Volkswagen would feel like, so it takes a bit of getting used to, but it's not something out of the ordinary, so it's pretty natural. If you have ever driven a Japanese car before, you will realize that this pedal feel is very Japanese, in which the initial bite comes after a bit of pedal travel, so, and then as you progressively brake, the braking force gets increased. So this car in S mode, the gearbox is in the right gear all the time. So unlike the Volkswagen, where I'm even in S mode, I'm actually prefer going down to the pedals and using the manual shifting. In this car, even though it has pedals, I am yet to find myself in a situation where I have had to use the pedals to shift gears. So the gearbox in S mode is very intuitive. It just likes to keep the car right in the power band. So and even if it isn't in the power band, a little bit of tap and immediately downshifts and it goes. So overtaking, this car can really overtake in traffic. I mean, it's actually almost a perfect city car. Well, it just has enough power to moon around without putting you in a situation which you can't control. So you'll never have a slide in this car unless you do something stupid like pull the handbrake. But it has enough power to make you feel like you're driving something good and something that is not a compromise for fuel economy and size. Every touch point that you see in the car, your body, you touch the steering wheel, touch the gearbox, touch the door pad, it's all high quality. Yes, there's a lot of cheap plastic here, but whatever you're touching, particularly the steering wheel, is extremely high quality, and it's really a huge bonus on this car. I mean, the steering wheel thickness is more than my Skoda and my BMW, so that's how thick the steering wheel is, and it really feels good to hold, and the feedback it gives is fantastic. So, driving this car in D mode in traffic. So this is NH8. I'm going to the Volkswagen workshop to pay for the service of my Tiguan in a Hyundai i20. That should be a very interesting conversation in the workshop. So yeah. At highway speeds, again the fuel economy in D goes skyrocketing. Anything between shows me instantaneously 15 to 20 between that, depending on how much I'm throwing the gas. And it's not like I'm driving slow. I'm maintaining a speed of 70 odd kilometers an hour and I'm doing 25 kilometers per liter. And that's the efficiency of the 3-cylinder engine coming into play. I think this is a slightly higher compression engine than the previous iteration of this motor, so it does give you better fuel efficiency when you're just cruising. But that also indirectly limits how much more boost you can add to it without going super high octane fuel. So, and even at this highway speed, let's say I want to overtake this, I can put it in sport mode. Let the gas in the car go 70 to 100 in no time. So I put it back into D, it goes back into its uncle driving mode, cruising away nicely, happily. I think I need to turn on the Google Maps, this one. Yes. So, I'm cruising away at 64 kilometers right now. There's a lot of traffic for a highway. People like just driving on each other's asses. So yeah, now I want to overtake, put it in S mode, press the gas and downshift, and ta-da! Like the chassis and the suspension make this car feel so planted. You can really, it encourages you to do stupid shit like this, you know. Normally I don't drive like this, but since I'm in a bit of a hurry to catch the workshop before it closes, so why not? See, the brakes are great. Brakes are there. I have not yet had a situation where I've felt that the brakes fade out on me or the brake force wasn't enough. It's got enough power to hoon. It's got a gearbox which is very willing to, understand what you want out of the acceleration and give you that in S mode. Obviously, not in D. D is slow, but and the brakes and the handling really complement the package. So the package is a fantastic car. Do I wish it had more power? Honestly, I don't think so. For my use, particularly in city driving, it has more than enough power, and it's got the handling to back it up. any more power on this chassis will make it feel, maybe it'll highlight some of the weaknesses that do not come out at this power level. So yeah, you can really throw this car around and it won't complain and it won't scare you. The communication is there. You know, I can't even think of doing this kind of stuff in a Polo without having quite a bit of guesswork in terms of what the front end is doing, and instead of just getting a very direct communication feeling from the front end that yes, this is how much grip there is on the car, this is how much brake force is there, this is how much my gearbox can accelerate, this is how much everything. It's a very, very communicative car. It's telling you exactly how much grip is there, how much power availability you are. The brakes are great, you know, you can just stamp on them and they'll slow the car down. There's no uncertainty in the braking. And the handling, oh my god, the handling of this car. And this is a stock Hyundai. Yeah. So, you know, it's got the handling capabilities for it. That 100 meters turn left, where do I turn left? Okay, mooning done. Now we slow down. Service lane as per this. Okay. Alright. Yeah. You want to
turn left, then turn right.
Put it in S mode and you'll be happy camper. Okay. Alright.
In 300 meters, turn left onto Baharampur Road, Captain Chandan Lal Marg.
Okay. So I guess that's more or less my 1000-kilometer review for this car. I'm loving it, especially after the tire change, the Primacy 4 STs, and the fuel it does great on. You add XP100, it goes ballistic, but the fuel economy suffers quite a bit. So I wouldn't recommend it unless you really have a lot of money, because the car, the mid-range really livens up.
Turn left onto Baharampur Road, Captain Chandan Lal Marg.
Okay, so I'm to turn left and I will let you guys go straight. Have a good time, have a good weekend, drive safe, and hopefully buy a couple of N-lines so we can ask Hyundai selectively to bring the actual i20N into this car, I mean into this country. Okay, take care.